other guests that you had here tonight, and I think they've laid out a scenario, Trace, whereby Vladimir Putin has not only planned for the sanctions, he knows that he can wait them out for a while. But I think the real question is, how much can the collective powers around the globe finally come together? We've seen what the Germans have done with respect to this in the lead up to this particular incursion. Not a lot, which has been the complaint by some folks on this side of the Atlantic. We've seen what the French have tried to do, diplomacy. Well, now it's a chance to get, again, the powers of the G7 to put their money, if you will, Trace, where their mouths are, and see if that will be enough to compel change from the Russian leader.
Right, and the last thing I would say, Kevin, and ask you is, there's got to be some feeling, because a lot of people will say, listen, including the president of Ukraine, if you had put these sanctions in place when we asked a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, even a month ago, when they first started massing those troops along the border with Ukraine, now they'd start to bite. Now they'd be biting a little bit, and I'm wondering if the president thinks, man, we should have put them in, so at least now that there would be some kind of, because, we talked with Amy Kellogg about this, about whether diplomacy was really ever on the table. And she thinks probably not. He was going to do this because he has a goal, and he's had this goal for 20 years. And the question would be, a lot of smart people in this administration must have raised their hand and said, hey, these sanctions need to go in place yesterday.
This is exactly, Trace, what will come out in the days ahead, in particular as people here in Washington. There's always lots of hand-wringing. There's lots of predictions, and most of them are wrong, but sometimes you make a prediction of what will happen, and you turn out to be correct. And unfortunately for this White House, there were those voices that said, hey, listen, we need to act strongly, we need to act now. You heard Fred Fleiss in particular talking about how important it was to really hit them early on. And by the way, we listened to some Ukrainian officials earlier tonight in a conversation with Shannon Bream, and also earlier today with Brett Baer. They have been imploring Washington to do more forcefully. Don't wait. We've heard John Kirby and others here on this side of the Atlantic say, well, you don't want to punish them before they actually do it. Well, as we've seen, maybe that wouldn't have been such a bad idea. Again, it's easy for me to Monday morning quarterback from my perch here in Washington, but I think this is a discussion point that certainly will get a great deal of attention in the days ahead, Trace.
I heard John Kirby say it, I heard Jen Psaki say it, you don't want to punish them before they do anything wrong. And I think the whole definition of deterrence is to deter. Really tough to deter somebody when they've dropped the bombs already. Kevin Court, back to you as the news breaks. Thank you, sir. Joining us now, Joel Rubin, former Deputy Assistant Secretary of State under President Obama. And Joel, to you the same question, because really this is the question of the day. The president's going to come out later this afternoon, and he's going to say these sanctions are going to be in place. They are going to be harsh. They're going to be biting. We're going to go maybe right to the head of the snake and go after Putin himself. Who knows exactly what they're going to hit him with hard? The question is, had you hit him a month ago with these things, they would now be starting to take effect. They would now start to feel the pinch a little bit more. And maybe my assessment is way off, but I'm asking for your guidance.
Yeah, Trace, no.